Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Blue, Blanc, Rouge. This is Saturday Hockey Talk at its new time for during the season. So we're going to go over. It's a pregame show as well, since hockey's back on. There's a game tonight, second game in a row, back to back. Montreal, Toronto. Here in Montreal, Toronto beat us last night 2-1 in what was not a really good game to watch. Pretty sloppy on both sides. The lineup was made basically up of mostly of like grinder type. It was a grinder type game. Um, it wasn't a great game to watch. Anyway, we can go over the stats from that. I've got some stuff about the Habs and about the game and shit like that. And what else I got? That's about it. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna say hi to you, and if you're here, please talk to me in the chat, and we'll have fun for an hour before the game. But it's essentially a pregame show for during the season. So enough said. Let's see who's here. Hey Zachary, how you going? How you doing there, Zachary? Goalies go, baby. That's words I would never say unless obviously I'm reading them off of a screen. But hey, it's okay. You can like the Leafs. Filibuster, the make believes. They can go after the first round. They can go after the first round. They will be gone by the end of the first round. Greetings, all, he says, also, even the Leafs fans. Hey, any fans, just because a guy doesn't likes another team doesn't mean they're not a good guy. You know what I mean? Good people like other teams. So, yes, even Leafs fans. Some of them. Some of them. Lucas, hey Lucas, here we go again. We'll do this again Monday. Monday they're playing again, this time in Toronto, and then there's a game against Ottawa in Ottawa. So this is the last home game of the preseason for Montreal. Then they will also open the season in Toronto, and then be home for the second game against Chicago, I believe. So we'll get to see Connor Bedard real early. It was a great last 5 minutes to watch. That was fun. That's it, right? And the beginning of the game, first, I don't know if it was a full 10, but the first part of the game was okay. And then that was it till the last 5 minutes when the Habs really tried to at least tie the game and go to overtime or whatever they're doing in preseason. So, yeah, that was okay. But, I mean, in general, when you're watching a game for 2.5 hours, if it's just the last 5 minutes, that's any good, it's not really a good game, right? So there we go. So in this chat, like I said, I'll go over some things. I have the Habs lines for tonight. I have the Leafs roster, not how they're going to line up. I didn't get that yet because things don't usually come out till after 11, and here I am on at noon, so it's hard to do that. So we'll look at that. It's a much better lineup for Montreal tonight. I can say this for the Leafs lines: the big guns aren't in the lineup tonight, so. Montreal should beat Toronto tonight from the lineup, so we'll see we'll see how that goes. All right, let me see what I got there, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to start with. I also wrote a poem, like about a half hour before the show, about after the first game going into the next game. So hopefully you guys will like that. I'll read that soon. What do I have here? Anything else I need to talk about first? No. So, Logan Mayu says this. His name is not pronounced Mayu. It is pronounced Mayu. So it's Logan Mayu. I didn't see him actually say that. I read this. So I don't know. I don't think he said it in a bad way. I believe sometimes the journalists, they ask these guys how do you pronounce your name? I know David Reinbacher was the same thing. So I'm assuming that's what it is, but it's Logan Mayu. I expect lots of cuts after last night's game. I didn't see anything about cuts. You got to figure for sure after the game today, before they go to Toronto, half the guys are gone. Like 30 to 40 guys out. They're going to the junior, to the AHL, and they're back to their junior teams. But I haven't heard anything, so. The Habs feel pretty certain that if they waive Caden Primo to send him to Laval that he won't clear waivers, which means he'll get picked up. They may carry 3 goalies to start the season, taking away a roster spot from a young prospect. I don't like it, but if they feel Caden Primo still has value, they're not going to let him go for nothing. So they'll hang on to him, 3 goalies for a short period of time until they can figure out what to do. Or an injury pops up. That could happen. Hopefully not. Or they could trade Jake Allen. And I say Jake Allen because I don't think Jake Allen's future goes beyond his 2-year contract, where Sam Montembeault, who's much younger, could be here for a number of years. We don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. No comments, so we'll keep going. Yoel Armia does not look like a player trying to earn his spot. He looks almost disinterested and undeserving of taking a roster spot away from a young forward. Waive him or trade him. And beside it, I wrote LOL, so I laugh. I can't laugh on command, but trading him is kind of funny. But waive him. He does not look like a guy that knows that he's on the bubble and wants to prove he's still an NHLer. I don't see that. Prospects that have had a good preseason so far. Joshua Roy. Joshua Roy looks like if he's not ready, he's right on the verge of being ready. He looks comfortable out there. He looks young still, but he's got stuff to learn, but he looks like he's almost ready. Surprisingly, I'm going to say Logan Mailloux. Logan Mailloux in his first, was it scrimmage or was the prospect game, looked horrible. And then from there, he said, you know what? I'm going to get better. And he did. And he looks, I'm not going to say like he's NHL ready yet, but he's impressing me. I've quickly gone from thinking this kid could use maybe more than a year in the AHL to saying sometime this season, if he gets a call up and there's an injury, he could stick. He needs a little bit of improvement, but he doesn't look that far away. So good on Logan Mailloux. Got to get used to saying it right. Jesse Ylönen. Lots of energy out there. Looks like he's hungry for a spot and wants to win one. And, there's a shot for him here. If they do move Armia and they don't go with 3 goalies, there's a shot for one at least of these guys. And then Owen Beck. Not showing it really on the offensive side, but defensively, Owen Beck's been just fine. The one thing hasn't been good, like the last night's game, not great at the dot, but I thought Owen Beck stands out on the defensive side. They look hungry to earn a roster spot, all of these guys, and they have a realistic shot at making the jump if the roster spots are available. This is the key, right? Roster spots available. Why is Armia there? I don't understand. Habs power play was in mid-season form. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I say it's a bad thing because, in other words, it was horrible. Power play was horrible. No flow, couldn't get set up or apply any pressure. They got 1 or 2 shots on goal in 6 power plays. Right? Think of that. 1 or 2 shots in 6 power plays? That's like a dead power play. They also gave up a shorty to Matthew Nyes in the second period. Didn't like that. Face-off percentages for the 4 main forwards, not the guys that had to come in and, Monahan, 58.8%. Jake Evans, even better at 61.5%. So right on Jake. Mitchell Stevens, 57.1%. And then, like I said, Owen Beck, not the greatest, 44.4%. So he brought their thing down. But overall, they were 56.6% in the at the dot. And I think that's the lone dominant stat for Montreal in the game. That they were dominant. That's it. So it wasn't a great game. They were good at the dot. There were guys that had good games, yes. But overall, not a good combination of a lineup, right? It looked like guys that never played together, and this is their first game together, It looked like that. All right, that's what I got so far in that. I just have my poem after that. Let's talk about what I just said. And I got the stats from the game. And this is not booze, but cheers if you're drinking. It's just a grape Rockstar. Really grape, though. It's pretty good. I don't like wine, so I know it looks like wine. I don't like wine. I may drink some sangria here and there. That's about it. All right, where are we? We get to see Bedard that early. Yeah, I believe it's the second game. You know, in a way, I'd rather see him a little bit later when he's a little more accustomed to it. But, I mean, the kid, I have a feeling the kid's going to look pretty good right away. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that we get to see him early. Armia wrecking Doc. Wrecking anybody he plays with right now. He does not look interested to play. I don't know what it is. I mean, you know, he looks adequate enough, but no, this guy should look awesome out there because he's hungry to win a job. He's not hungry to win a job. He's making good money for the next 2 seasons. That's what it looks like. That flub last night, where he let the puck out during power play, that was uglier. That was uglier. I'm trying to remember. I kind of remember that. Now, he just had a bad game. I mean, and he's had a bad camp so far. Quinn, early show, yes. Saturday, well, during the season, Saturday nights are hockey nights, right? So I don't do Saturday hockey talk. So I thought, because I'm not doing preseason games unless it's late games anymore, I'm doing post game shows, preseason games, pre-game shows, post game shows instead. So on Saturdays, Saturday hockey talk moves to noon, and it's basically a pre-game show for the game, and we can talk about whatever. So there you go. Can we buy out Armia? No, I don't believe so. You can only buy out players, I believe, in the buyout periods, which have come and gone, and the next ones don't happen for a while. So I don't believe so. Unless I'm wrong. If anybody knows out there that I'm wrong, let me know, please. He only has 1 year left. I know he has this year and next year. So he's got 2. So we would hurt to cap that much going forward. No, like if he's still in the organization next season, at the buyout, you know, in the off-season buyout period, then it makes sense. I think then you could buy him out and be fine. But with 2 years left, I don't think they're interested in, because that doubles. It's a lot less in the doubled part, but you're still paying them out, and you still got to pay something. Goes against the cap, all that. So I don't think they're interested in doing that for 4 years. Quinn, you didn't watch last night? You didn't miss much. Yes, I'm going to go over the lineup in a minute, so don't go anywhere. I'll probably watch tonight. He says, hope Slav, Cavill, and Suzuki are in. And guess what? You are right. Let's take a look at the lines. Then we'll go over the stats from the last game. But since Quinn was talking about it, we're going to do that. Phil, you're right. Before we go, he says, that's not grape. That's purple. That's purple drank. That's purple drank with a little energy boost in it. It's purple energy drink. There you go. All right. Let's see what we got here for the lines. First, let's look. You'll see this is their Maple Leafs roster. I don't know how they're going to line up. A Bruzizi. That's Zizi? That's how they pronounce it or spell it? Oh, awesome. Clifford, Cowan, Gregor, Hirvonen, Holmberg, Nyes, Minton, Robertson, Slavin, Joseph Slavin, not the other defensive guy, Steves, Verberg, Turberg, however you pronounce that. On defense, Benoit, TJ Brody, McCabe, Nimela, Riley, Rifai, is that it? Rifai? And Pietronero. And in nets, Hildeby. Sounds like a British name. Hildeby. And Martin Jones backing him up. So that's guys in the lineup. That's not going to be like a powerhouse lineup in any way. Here's Montreal's lines. Caulfield, Suzuki, Newhook. We're going to get to see Newhook on the wing with the boys. That's line one. Line two, Doc. You'll have Harvey Pinard on his left side and Slavkovsky on his right side. Those first two lines are going to be kind of exciting. I'm very happy to see this. And against I don't want to say depleted Leafs team, but not the best lineup there. Third line, Riley Kidney centering Leash Anderson and Emil Heineman. And that's the line that, depending on how it plays out, more than likely, they could form a line down in Laval. Then you got Mayette. I don't know his first name. I don't know who that is. Centering Pizzetta and Sean Farrell. Just a little surprised to see Farrell there. I think they just want to see, in case they want to have him in a bottom six role for now, what he looks like there. I think there's going to be a lot of auditioning right there. You got Newhook. No, I don't know if he's auditioning for the first line, but on the wing to show what he can do. Harvey Pinard, trying to audition to see, am I a top six forward or a bottom six? They want to see him again. Slav, seeing if he's a top six guy playing on the wing with Doc. They had some chemistry there a little bit. On defense, you got Gooley and Reinbacher as your top pairing. You got Norlinder and Barron as the next pair, and Trudeau and Kovacevic as the third pair. Maybe that's not how the pairings go, but Gooley and Reinbacher will be your top pair. And you got Monty in net, backed up by Jacob Dobis. And ladies and gentlemen, there's your lineup for tonight's game. So as you can see, without the Leafs lines being like in order, you can see Montreal's got a much better roster out there for tonight, and should win this game. I mean, just go look at the roster and of each team, and they should win this game tonight. Will that be how it plays out? I don't know, because if you think about the Ottawa Senators game, where it was similar to this, Montreal had a much better roster, and they did beat the Senators, but 4-3 in a game where the Senators, with their bruiser lineup, looked not bad, not great or anything, better than we thought, or I did anyway. So we'll see what happens tonight. Okay, it is time for that, and I have a poem I wrote, and hopefully I won't drive people away. There's only 12 of you out there, but hopefully you'll enjoy this. I don't have a title for it. It is just something that I thought to do, like it was like 10:30, and I didn't have a lot of time. I had stuff to do, and I said, shit, I got these two lines in my head. I got to write it out. 5 minutes later, pretty much 10 minutes, and I had this. And here we go. I'm just going to light this to spark, hopefully, some good interest in my poem. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. The game last night was full of shit. I did not like it, not one bit. The power play was so bad, man. See ya. Why did they play Yoel Armia? Some players shined. There were a few. Ulan and Beck, Roy and Logan Mayu. There was no flow to this game. There was no flow to this game. Of our power play, I am ashamed. I hope it's better for today. I hope we see better players play. Lots of cuts. Goodbye. We'll see ya. They got to wave Yoel Armia. Play Nick and Cole. We'll soon get the news. Will the Leafs play Marner and Matthews? We will beat the Leafs if Doc is there. Put Jack-Eye in. Give them a scare. Habs beat the Leafs. I am predicting. The Habs-Leafs rivalry is addicting. No better rivals in the NHL. I hope our boys play this game well. There's just one thing before I go that I want you to know. To a Habs win, I raise my glass. Now go out there, boys, and kick Leafs' ass. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to read it well. Part of the way, anyway. Yeah, so now all we got, I'll go over the stats of the game from from last night, and you'll see what I mean. They shone in the playoffs, in the face-off circle. That was about it. So here we go. We'll do that. It's not a lot here. So it was 2-1 for the Leafs. Don't you hate to see a bigger number on the freaking Leafs side? Okay, so stats. So on the shot clock, are there 26-25. So they beat us by one shot. Not a big thing. Power plays 0 for 6 for us, 0 for 2 for them. So we only had 4 penalty minutes. They had 12. 11 hits to 12 for them. 19 block shots to 20 for them. But then in the face-off circle, the percentage, 56.6 for Montreal to 43.4 for the Leafs. So something that's been a weak spot for Montreal is the face-off circle. So maybe that's that's changing now. And they're much better at the dot. And this is important because if you want to be a winner, you want to win a Stanley Cup, you can't do that when you're not good at face-offs. Let's just put it that way. If you're losing face-offs and having to get the puck, you don't get it off the draw, you got to work to get the puck. That wastes time. And, you're just not going to be as good a team. I'm saying it in a very stupid way, but I think you get my drift. All right. So goal scorers last night. There were 3. Matthew Nyes, shorthanded with a wrist shot at 10:23 of the second period, got the first one in the opening goal. Kokkonen. Now, it's either Kokkonen, and you can say he's like, oh, what does he do? Let's see your nose. You got any powder there? Or it's Kokkonen, and, I want to know what I don't want to go there. He got his shot on a goal on a wrist shot, 16:34 into the second, make it 2-0. So in the third period, it's a Toronto game, right? Montreal-Toronto. Josh Anderson's going to get a goal. Okay, you got to hang on. It's the intercom. I don't know what it is. Hello. Oh, okay. Hang on. I'll let you in. All right. Amazon for my son. Just hang on a second. I got to go tell him. So just hang on a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah, Josh Anderson playing against Toronto, and he's getting a goal. Remember the playoff series against them? Andy scored a few big goals. He seems to always score against Toronto. He does not like Toronto. He scored on a snapshot at 14:39 of the third. Saw a little interview with Cole Caulfield, pregame stuff they do. His brother Brock is in the Leafs organization. Cole does not like the Leafs. He does not like the Leafs. So there's that. Who else was it that didn't like the Leafs? I think it was Riley Kidney, but I didn't hear the name of who it was. I think it was Riley Kidney they were talking about. So I think he grew up. His accent sounds so much like Arbor. So they must come from the same area. And they asked him, did you grow up a Leafs fan? He went, no, I was not a Leafs fan. So doesn't like the Leafs. So it's cool to see, I don't know. I just like to see that. All right, let me get. There's a lot of comments. So I just, that's everything from me. So let's talk about it. Let me just find out where I left off. There it was. Yes, JFed, welcome in. And that was Barron that coughed up the puck last night on the shorthanded goal, I believe. And he'll be in the lineup again tonight. And, that's a good thing. Barron just needs to develop a little more. That's why he's going to go to Laval. I mean, I said this for a while. Barron's going to get the short straw because he's not ready. Yes, he can get in here, and when there's injuries, and you got to, and then he'll start. So he needs to start the season in Laval. He'll get his legs under him. He'll get a call up at some point and probably stick around. But he's not ready. You can see it in preseason. He's not ready right now. All right. Decent lineup tonight. Yes, for Montreal. For them, they're going to get beat. I say that with somewhat of confidence, right? Because usually when you're overconfident, I don't think the Habs are going into this game, even though it's just preseason, being overconfident that they're going to win. But they must feel that they have the lineup that can do it. Right? No Matthews, no Marner, no Tavares, no Nylander, right? No big guns over there for Toronto. And, creates a little bit of pressure for them because they can't lose to this team either. That's not going to look good. Right? Many Habs fans are going to be all over them. Listen, they could lose to this team. It's an exhibition game. It doesn't mean anything. They could be trying different things that don't work because they have to see what it looks like. And then they lose, and we're all over them. And it's just, that's not right? It's preseason games. If this was the regular season, that's a different story. But I expect them to win with that lineup. Quinn says, I like this lineup a lot. For some reason, I thought Kidney was small looking at his face, but he's pretty big. I hope he can really play. Yeah, in that interview, he looked small. He did look small. They had the microphones up too high, like he did. I thought he's a small player too, so I don't know his size. I think he's like 5'11" or something, but he looked a lot smaller. Pressure's on a bit for him too. He's got to show something. I don't think he's got a shot this year to make the team, but he needs to show them something, for the future. And also some of these guys, they want to look at them, see them, because if they have to call some of these guys up, they want to know what to expect from them somewhat. They use these games for that too, Last night, Leon, you're 100% right. Both lineups were weak. They were grinder lineups. There's no doubt. And the game was boring. And, you look at it like that. I see Lucas poem time, so I'm really behind in these comments, but I'll catch up. We need a new power play coach, defensive coach, like the Big Bird. Defensive coach, I think, is okay. Power play coach, I just don't think he has the he doesn't have the quarterback, the power play quarterback he doesn't have the players. I'm not saying that I've changed my mind on him, but also you have to admit the players aren't here yet. But power play looks, like I said, mid-season form, right? Which is horrible. They just start where they left off. 16.1% or 7%. That was their power play last season. That's horrible. Prediction for Bay-Bye. Habs 4, Leafs 2, Cole with the first goal. Bay-Bye, thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Billy Bishop. Yeah, I'm on early. This is the new thing for Saturday in season because, and next Saturday too, because there's a game next Saturday at night. So they play most Saturdays. So there's a game most Saturdays. The only time I won't do this will be the Super Bowl weekend when it's like a 1:00 game. I think we have that. I think only one game like that this year. There may be 2 really early games. Other than that, yeah, Saturday Hockey Talk is going to be at noon on Saturday. I'm doing this for a while. I don't know if I'm going to like doing this early on a Saturday. Plus, I've got a post-game show after the game. But, it's in season. You got to work. Got to work hard. I got to work as hard as these guys do. Just one day a week like that. Also, I don't like back-to-back games, and now I got back-to-back games, and I got 3 shows today. It was tough. New Hook on first line, yes. And also first goal, New Hook gets the first one in a 5-2 Habs win, says Billy Bishop. What time do I usually wake up in the morning? It's almost doesn't matter what day of the week it is. So it's what time do I wake up in the morning? It depends. I go to bed pretty late. I'd say on a really early day, 6:30. On a regular day, 7:15, and on a late day by 8:00, and rarely at 9. But in general, 7 to 7:30. And I could go to bed at 4 o'clock and still that's what time I get up. Thing is, I sleep a little bit in my chair watching shows. What can I do? I'm old. That's what happens when you're old. By the time I'm done with this YouTube channel, you guys are going to know every little thing about me. Lucas says, yeah, really need to see improvement on the power play or changes need to be made. We have players to succeed with more open ice. We don't have all the players. You see, I think you're right about forwards, right? The problem is that power play quarterback often is a problem. We don't have a good enough one. Wait till you see the difference when Lane Hudson gets here. And you got David Reinbacher and Logan Mailloux is here. And you know, in the next 2-3 years, that I think that power play is going to be like tremendous. But, you know, we got to suffer a little bit till it gets there. And we've already suffered quite a bit, but there's a little more power play suffering time. Because it's a really frustrating power play, man. What's my son's Twitch again? Why you put me on the spot like that? A giant robot? All one word? I believe that's it. I know he was streaming last night. I just woke him up. He's not on, but I don't know his schedule at this point. I don't know exactly. I used to know his schedule because he was more consistent, and right now I don't know. But he's still doing it, and it's a giant robot. Thanks for asking, though. He's going to like when I tell him someone asked about your channel. Russell, thank you. Appreciate that. Made you smile? Awesome. That's awesome. I bet you it was when I mentioned Armia twice in a not great way, right? Kidney is 6 feet. Awesome. He does not look 6 feet. Maybe that's why the mics were raised a little bit because I don't know, but he looked small. It keeps me busy for a weekend. Yeah, I'm not complaining. You know, I only complain at the beginning of the season because I'm not used to it. But once you get used to it after a few weeks, yeah. And then till when April hits, I'm done. And I can't wait till the last games. I enjoy doing them when I'm doing them, but it's a grind. And I'm looking forward to when the grind is over. Now, if they make the playoffs, the grind doesn't stop. But playoff hockey is a little different, right? There's more excitement. It kind of renews you. So that's kind of how my season goes. What can I do? I don't have the drive and the energy that a lot of these young guys do. And they put out a ton of content and good content too. I'm not saying, anything else. I can't do that. It takes me a long time now to do a video. I imagine some of these guys, they don't work alone. So anyways, it is what it is. Season's here. I'm going to be mostly doing live streams. I think this year I'm going to be doing live streams during the season. And I think I want to concentrate, unless there's a really big story for me to do a video, I want to concentrate on my writing. And by that, I mean my poetry, short stories. So you might see that kind of stuff happening and not as many of the other videos. Then once the season's over, I go right back to making videos about stuff going on, So it's like that, I can't compete with those young guys with what they're doing. I'm not a good enough analyst for that, is what I want to say. It's not putting myself down. I'm not as good as they are at relating what they see in hockey. I don't know why, but that's how it is. So I found a niche for myself, and I am happy to do it. It doesn't get me the views or whatever or make the money, but I mean, I can only do what I can do. And I'm tired of doing videos I'm not really good at, or stretching, having to write stuff that I'm not happy with, Anyway, I don't know how else to put it. So, yeah, so season's on, and you're going to get a lot more live streams, obviously, and a lot more writing stuff, poetries and stories. So hopefully that's good. The poetry will be mostly about hockey. I tend to write in season about hockey. In the off season, I write a little bit of poetry that's not hockey. But yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I don't know. That's where we went to. Beat poetry. I'd have to look that up to make sure. Like, I don't know what that means exactly. Because my poems, I don't set out to write in a particular way. I don't set out writing a poem with an idea other than to get the first 2 lines, and I go from there. So I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's kind of like talking off the top of your head. I write like that. That's how it comes out. And the one today, I wrote it. I didn't do a rewrite on that, so it's kind of raw, which I like. I like raw poetry too. Let me see now. We got plenty of time. All right. It will be just you for the post show, or will the others be there? Saturday night. So, if Pete reaches out and says he'd like to be on, I could see Pete being there. The two other Bostonians, if they reach out, I'm happy to have them on. And Matt, I doubt it. It's Saturday night, so I doubt it. But you never know. But I kind of doubt it, because if Matt would be on the post game, he'd probably be on the game with me. He hasn't said anything to me today, so no, it's just me. You're stuck with just me. What made me start my YouTube channel? I watched The Hockey Guy one summer. I guess it was 2018. He got me back into hockey a lot. And he's also just a dude like me, in that, we're just regular guys. And I thought, I need something to do. I'd like to make some money like this. I was getting into writing, and I wanted to start writing like for like a TV show or something like that kind of writing. I wasn't really good at that. And I had this artistic thing coming up. I don't know where it came from or whatever. And then I saw The Hockey Guy, and I thought, I could do that. Wrongly so. Like, at the time, I couldn't do that. I mean, it took me 5 years to get to where I am. But that's it. I saw The Hockey Guy, said, yeah, I can do what he's doing. I wanted to do a different idea, which wasn't going to work. And I just went to hockey, which I knew a lot about, but I was really rusty. It took a couple of years. And now I'm pretty good at it. I think I can analyze things, but not like the young guys. So I just do what I feel I can do, and I try to do, that to the best of my ability. Instead of trying to do stuff I'm no good at, it's clear I'm no good at. I don't want to do that stuff anymore. So you see less videos and whatever, but I hope they're better and more focused and stuff like that, and better edited and stuff like that. Anyway. Babe, I'm just going to put that one up instead of patting myself. Like, I don't like. Yeah, what Babe I says there. Awesome. He can't control life. How you doing, man? Yes, I'm doing my thing. In the end, I tried to be like other people the first couple of years. And then over the last 3, I've slowly gotten to where exactly that. Just be yourself. Do what you're good at, what you're comfortable with doing, whatever. And don't do things you're no good at, or you can't do well. And then frustrates you. Don't do those things. And I try to stay away from that now. So it hasn't made me it hasn't grown my channel a ton. But it is what it is, and you can't force that anyway. And if I'm doing stuff I'm really no good at, it's not going to grow my channel either, right? So that's how I look at it. And listen, you know what? The proof is there. When I do a video now that's better, more focused, I've taken more time with it. The writing's better. I'm getting results in subscribers and stuff. I wasn't getting that. I could do 20 videos and get 5 subscribers. Now I do a video. My last one got me 40 subscribers. That's where the results show, right? That it's better. I'm doing a better job. So, it might not be the flashiest stuff or the most popular stuff or whatever, but if I'm doing a good job at it and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it's what matters. So that's what money could be better. But I'm not good at that. I need a manager. I need to find somebody that can work with me on the managing side and do all the social media stuff and push all that, get t-shirts going. But I can't do that all alone. So this is why it's taking time to get t-shirts out. Over the winter, it's one of my goals this winter is to get the t-shirts online. So hopefully you guys would be interested in buying some. But yeah, so we're working on that. And Matt and I already have some really good ideas and some really good stuff that I think you guys would like. We just have to get it done. And he's not any better at it, or he doesn't have time. He working a full-time job. He doesn't have time really to help me on that, which is, I understand that, but I got to find a manager because I need more than just t-shirts. I need a guy that can manage me somehow and not make a lot of money right now because we're not, that's the hard part. Hey, you want to work for me? Yeah, I can't pay you really, but you want to work for me, work hard and everything? Yeah, cool. How do you find somebody like that? Do I have to rhyme? Do you have to rhyme? Are you talking about the poetry? I don't get poetry that doesn't rhyme. I see a lot of it, and for me, I don't get it. It's not my style, and I don't understand it. And I learned my poetry. My biggest influence is probably Dr. Seuss, right? And you can hear it, like especially at the beginning of this poem. That was Dr. Seuss. So yeah, for me, poetry needs to rhyme. So I'm just trying to learn how to rhyme in different ways. Doesn't always have to be 2 lines rhyme, 2 lines rhyme. I've done other things. I like limericks. I can write haikus, but they don't do much for me. So yeah, I can't write the other kind of poetry because it doesn't move me in any way. And I don't really understand it. Poetry to me should rhyme somewhere. So anyways, that's it. So I write what I write. I'm not the most educated guy either, so my vocabulary could be better, but it's not too bad. So, it's kind of like a working guy poet. That's what I am. It jumped a little bit there. I'm going to just go with it because I'm really behind, I think. Rick Flower, how's it going, man? Great first name. Great first name. What are your thoughts on training camp so far? So far, so good. I mean, if you were expecting a lot of great games and flashy stuff, and you're not going to get that in preseason in general, right? It's evaluation, it's down the road stuff. So I'm okay with what I've seen. I'm happy that they've got a lot of these kids. There's a lot of kids in camp. I think down the road that's going to pay off for them, in attitude and things like that when kids come in. So yeah, so far so good. These next 3 games, although not this one with the roster the Leafs are putting out there, but the next 2. So in Monday in Toronto and next Saturday in Ottawa, 2 big games where you should see the basic lineup that's going to start the season. The compete level should be up, and the opponents' lineups also will be quality, and we'll see some good hockey. But for now, it's interesting to see these young kids that are standing out and hungry for a spot, and that's what I'm getting from it. I know I missed something I should have read, so I'm going backward. There. Okay. Hey, Babe says, I personally support 4 channels, all to do with hockey. Awesome. Listen, I support this channel because I figure I'm a member. If I'm asking other people to be members, I took a membership too. And I don't support any, I did support a couple other channels, but they went in a different direction, or I don't know. So I kind of stopped. So I support myself. I know it sounds kind of selfish, but I did have 2 or 3 people that I had memberships with. But my financial situation changed a little bit this year, so I had to tighten my belt a little bit with inflation and everything. Plus, like I said, this channel don't make a lot of money. If anybody thinks they do, I've showed you before, what I make here, it's not a lot of money. So the audio Murphy, the hockey guy is not a Habs fan. This is true, but, and a very important but, respects them and says all the time that the NHL is a much better league when the Montreal Canadiens are good. And he respects them. He may not be a fan, but he's respectful, and yet, he's not a Leafs fan type. So, I don't know. He got me back into hockey, and he got me into doing this. So I don't watch a lot of him right now, but I respect the shit out of the guy. I don't know that we'd be friends. I don't know we're the same kind of personality, but it doesn't matter. I respect the shit out of the guy, how successful he is. He's just a regular guy who knows his hockey. I don't always agree with him, but he knows his hockey. Hockey Junkie is another channel that's great. I mean, I love Hockey Junkie. He's got such a great sense of humor, and guy makes good videos, pumps them out. Don't know how he does that. Got to respect Hockey Junkie. And then Hockey Junkie says, and I don't know, I find it hard to believe, but he swears to me this is true. He wouldn't be doing his channel if it weren't for me. So, like, I found the hockey guy and he got me started. Apparently, I did this for the Hockey Junkie, which I'm proud of. It's hard. I don't know how to handle that. Weird, eh? It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know how to handle any kind of adulation. I'm learning, but it's a hard thing. I can see why a lot of people who are much more talented than me and did a lot more than I have done, obviously. But I can see how sometimes you see, an actor or whatever, and he struggles with the attention, and I can kind of understand it. I don't have anything near what they have, but it's hard to process sometimes. So weird. I don't know. Hockey Guy is a Canucks fan. He is a Dallas Stars fan, and his wife's a big Winnipeg Jets fan, so he likes the Jets. And there's another team he's okay with, the Vegas Golden Knights. He likes the Knights because he likes going to Vegas. Quinn, I'm actually working on that. I've got to get back to it, but I'm working on a book. I'm working on 2 books, actually. One for kids. I haven't written any, like I've got like 5-6 pages of it. I still have to add another 5-6 pages, but I haven't worked on it in a little bit, so I'm going to try to get back to it during the season. And I've got all my poems. I want to put them into a book. I've got enough now, and I'm just working on introductions and stuff, and then try to figure out how to self-publish. But they will probably soon, when I figure out how to do it, be available on Amazon, like a single poem for like, I don't know what, it won't be expensive, that's for sure. But you could buy, like, I'm trying to work on that where because, when these channels, they always say, come up with a product and push it. I don't have anything but my writing. So, I don't know what else I don't know. I'm in a limited niche, so there's not a lot of products and stuff like that. Anyway, one of these days, I'm at it 5 years. I'm at the point now with 5 years, I should start to see some of that kind of things happening, and I'm working on trying to get that going. But yeah, I've been working. It's about a year now, I'd say, Quinn, that I've kind of really thought, yeah, I should be doing that. And then after I interviewed AJ and Sean Campbell, I realized I was writing what should be a children's book. I was writing it as a poem or a short story more, but it should be so that's what it's going to be. When I'm done, I don't know when I'll be done. And I'll tell you something, when I started the channel, no thought about writing poetry or, doing a book or no thought. That was not in my head. that came up during the first year. Because I used to like to write. And I started writing hockey poetry. And that's how it started. And now I'm a poet. If you ask me what do, I will say I'm a YouTube creator and a poet. Because I feel strongly that my writing's getting better and I'm a poet now. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Lucas, I don't have the talent for over the top theatrics, but my videos have changed. I mean, they've definitely gotten more tech and more editing. So I'm not as raw as I used to be. And I kind of like doing the voiceover videos. I find I'm freer to talk about. I don't know. It just frees me up. I don't know. And it's not that I'm uncomfortable on camera anymore. I'm not. But when you don't have to, you're not on camera. I think more. It's like I don't have a teleprompter. I don't work that way. I don't type it into the computer. I write everything on paper. It's hard to read a script on camera and read a script and keep looking and be looking at the camera. It takes away from the video, so doing the voiceover work is kind of better. But I'm doing the preseason video. I have a feeling I've got to do it on camera, a lot of it. So I'm struggling with how to do that one. And it's not fully ready, but it's close to being ready. So yeah, there's my dilemma. Every video causes some sort of dilemma, right? Every video. But that's what gives you the butterflies, and the butterflies and the nervousness, if channeled right, really increase, to me, I feel, increase the quality of my work, when they're not overwhelming, right? Just having a little bit, like not losing that nervousness, and also there's a little bit, and there's a little bit of the butterflies. That's going to, as long as that remains, it really helps the quality of the work. And it does help the performance. Like, who was I working with? You can ask Pete. We recorded something for the podcast, and I had some written stuff, and just very short lines, and I didn't want to read it. So I was rehearsing. We were in the room together, and I was rehearsing before we shot, and I was struggling with the rehearsal and getting it right. And I told him, "Watch, I'm going to get it right. Like I can't do it here, but I'm going to get it right. I hope." So when we turned the camera on, nailed it. And that's because I taught myself very early on. I didn't edit. I had to do everything live. I had to hit my cues. Some videos I didn't, some videos I did, but it taught me how to be on when the camera's on. When I got something prepared and I got to read it, 9 out of 10 times I'm on. So, yeah, whatever. I don't know how we got on all this stuff. I apologize if I'm talking about myself too much. It might not be very interesting for you guys. Rick, that's on purpose, right? Like I said, over the years, you realize where you're good at. You also realize what everyone else is doing. And if I'm not up to par with everyone else, doing the same things they're doing is not going to get me anywhere, right? So I realized I'm the only one writing poetry. There were a couple things I'm the only one really doing. So I went with that. And I try to do things in a way that I'm the only one doing. Now, as far as talking in the chat with everybody, I love doing that. But if this grows where I've got 200, 300, 400 people in the chat, that's going to fall off. Not that I won't talk to people in the chat, but then I won't be able to hit everybody, with what they say. So that's a problem down the road. And there's not much you can do about it, But I try, You guys are important. If you guys aren't out there watching me, what am I doing for? Right? I mean, that's the truth of it, right? I want to be creative. I want to do all. But if there's nobody watching, what am I doing? So you guys are really important. And I hope that comes across. That's all. So, yeah. And I also always never want my head to get big. Never want that. Want to always stay grounded because I don't like getting full of myself. And it happens. It's easy to, you know, if you get 3, 4, 5, 1,000 people in your chat or in your live stream, and they're all, yeah, you're great. What do you think? Oh, that you feel like you're like a god. So it's, you know, the unwinding is really important afterward. So I try to stay grounded, and why wouldn't I stay grounded? And there's no reason for me to get a big head. So. But yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I do. Don't worry about that. I don't see why I would change. If I'm going to change, it's only because I'm changing into something else that I like doing, but, you know, it's not like somebody else is doing. I may do videos from here and there and stuff, whatever, like other people, but I try to find at least my own slant on it, so I bring a different angle, and I'm not just saying what everybody else is saying. You know, not at least not all the time, because some things you can't help it. Yeah, and I try to come up with I don't watch a lot of other people's videos because I don't want to do what they're doing. It's one of the reasons why I don't watch a lot of other people's videos. Matter of fact, right now, I think the only person I really watch at all is Hockey Junkie. And that's just for that. I don't want to get anybody else's idea. What you see from me is me. I came up with it. I mean, sometimes I'll see something and I read stuff. I'll get my ideas sometimes from writers because, you know, I read an article and go, oh, yeah, you know, that would be a really good idea. And then I do my version of it. I mean, that's how I work. Babe, just the fact that if you're doing speculation all the time, like Top Shelf does, yeah, I mean, how can your percentage be high on accuracy, right? There's no way he's an insider. How's he going to know any of this stuff? He's got to read, and he reads whatever, and he's reading speculation, and then he comes up with what he comes up with. So, you know, believe me, if I read all the speculation and then I wait for the right timing, I can predict stuff too, because then it becomes kind of obvious. Anyway, you know, he's got to come up with stuff all the time. Imagine you have to come up with speculation and rumor all the time. You got to make stuff up at some point, no? Yeah, Lucas, I appreciate the offer, but it's not exactly what I'm talking about. I need someone that's, you know, more dedicated and full time. It's hard to find what I need, you know? But maybe, you know, let me think about it. But I definitely need help. There's no doubt. I need some organization help and some help to get the t-shirts off the ground and merchandise and shit like that. Andrew says that's what beat poetry is. It doesn't rhyme. It just follows a beat. Yeah, so I'm not a beat I'm not a beat poet. Right? Listen, you know, Phil, who I don't know if he's still out there, but Phil told me a while back now he thinks I could write rap. I'm not into rap. And yet, when I wrote a poem, which if you watch the podcast, the first one, and then here and thereafter, I did a poem for it that in my head, I went, you know, this is a rap song. And I put it to rap music and I did it. So Phil saw that in me. I don't know, but I don't think I'm a beat poet. If that's what it is, I don't get poetry that doesn't rhyme. I just don't get it. And I had no way I could write it. Andrew, I appreciate that. You are a big contributor to the channel, and I do appreciate that. So thank you. I would just like to have stuff that, you know, you guys can like kind of buy that you can have, and it's a physical material thing, you know? So I'd like to get some of that stuff out there too. And really just watching the videos, as long as you got commercials turned on, or if you have YouTube Premium, I mean, that contributes to what, you know, what the channel makes. Babe, I was expecting cuts today, like when I was looking for the lineup, because, you know, that doesn't usually come out till after 11. And I was expecting they'd announce cuts. I haven't seen any cuts announced. So I don't know what's up with that. I think after today's game, I think we're going to see cuts announced after the game or tomorrow. They'll announce a lot of cuts, but there's going to be a lot of cuts. I think they want to give these young guys as much time in an NHL camp as they can before they cut them. And I'm not sure why the first 4 got cut so early and the rest, they're just not, like, I don't know. There's something there, and I don't know what that's about. Yeah, Leon, I don't know what his percentage is, but it can't be high. The hockey guy loves Suzuki. How could you be somebody who knows hockey and understands hockey and not love a player like that, even if he's not on a team that you cheer for? Like, I like other players, and watching them and seeing what they're doing doesn't mean I like their teams. So, yeah, I understand that because he knows his hockey. Exactly, Andrew. How can you not love Suzuki? Well, Suzuki, he's maybe not a typical number 1 center. And I will say this, if Doc continues to emerge into what I think he can, he'll take over the number 1 center spot. I think that's got to happen if Doc continues to get better and as physical and dominant as he is out there. He's going to be a number 1 center. And I don't think Suzuki will have a problem with that. Right? I don't think so. Awesome, can control life. My poetry flows like flat tire on roads. My lines upset souls like saying go Sens go. Sorry, no more. Awesome, dude. Hey, I'm creating a new niche. Hockey poetry. A new genre of poetry. Hey, Bruce, how's it going, man? Mad Maddox, how's it going? What's my ideal top 6? I don't know about ideal, but I'll give you the top 6 I have in my prediction video if you want. Top line, Caulfield, Suzuki, Monahan. And second line, Newhook, Doc, and Anderson. Now, I see Newhook on the right side today. Maybe I'm wrong having him on the left side, so that might not happen, but I've seen other people in the know say they think that Anderson would be on the second line with Doc and Newhook. So Andy's a right winger. So I think Newhook can play either side. Like, Newhook could play all 3 positions up front. Babe, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I've watched guys like, oh, they like the first couple of videos and then don't. And I realize that with me. I mean, um, it's what's the word I'm looking for? I could not be people's taste, or they don't like stuff I do. At first, that bothered me. Well, now, it doesn't bother me at all. Not at all. I understand, obviously, a lot of people aren't going to like what I'm doing, and that's cool. It is what it is. But there's people out there that do like it, and that's what matters. And, hopefully people enjoy it. And that's it. I'm not shallow. I'm not that shallow that I've got to live and die by how many subscribers I have or followers on Twitter. And I don't think I've ever broken 400 on Twitter. And I don't care. Right. I'm active on Twitter I read and I go through and gather information from there. I'm not that active in posting. I do a lot of reposts of things, if anything. I'm not an active, really, poster on Twitter or any social media, to be honest with you, except here. But yeah, one of the big things, by the way, the last thing you said there, supporting them depends on your financials, obviously. And yeah, it's a big thing. So that's why, I can't afford to follow or to support everybody that I like on Twitter. And I understand that you guys might not be able to. So no one ever has to feel bad that they couldn't send me money. I have no problem with that. And like I said, watch the videos, let the ads play out a bit, and I'm happy because that supports the channel, right? I mean, I get paid, it's not great money or anything, but neither is premium. YouTube Premium, it doesn't pay out great, but it does pay out. And that's how you support somebody that when you can't really financially send them money. It doesn't cost you anything. And, I earn a little bit of money. Believe me, a little bit. I don't know what we get for a view, but it's like really not much because they pay you by the 1,000 views. So I'm getting to be overtime. Maybe I'll stay another 5 minutes because I only wanted really to do an hour. I've got the game at 7, so I'm not coming on early. I'll be on at 7 because we did the pregame show here. What else? Got the postgame show tonight. So it's scheduled for 10. Depends on the game. If the game finishes at 9:30, 9:40, I'm good for 10. If it runs like a lot over, I'll just put the time like another 15 minutes. So 10, 10, 15, we'll do the post-game show. We'll talk about the game and do that for an hour. And that'll be like the norm for early games. Late games, I'll do a pre-game show during the season. Early games, like normal time, I'll be doing a post-game show. So that's it. What else? I'll get to the last of these comments, and then I think I'm going to take off and have some lunch. Do I ever create poetry that relates to Canadians or to hockey in general? Well, I think that the kids' book I'm writing is if you're a Canadian kid that grew up in my era, you would definitely relate to that. And maybe even today, but definitely of my era. So yeah, and it doesn't revolve necessarily around the Habs. So that's something. In general, though, for hockey, I've written about how I hate the Leafs. Not the Leafs. Well, yeah, I might have done some. I did a song. The refs. I meant to say the refs. But no, usually in general, when I'm writing about hockey, it's about the Habs. I have some other poems that aren't about hockey at all. I don't have a lot of that, but I'm starting to write like that here and there. So there's that. So the book, if I get it out, will not just be about hockey poetry. There'll be all kinds of, like, whatever I'm writing in there. So there's that. I don't think I missed anything. And that's it. So like I said, I'll get to these last couple. You had some sugar too. Yeah, this I don't know. I didn't drink much. I had very little of this just to give me a little boost, if that's what you're saying. But yeah. And Rick, thank you. I appreciate that. Game is at 7, Anthony, at 7. Doc is definitely better at center. Doc will be a dominant number 1 or number 2 center when he hits his peak. That's my prediction for him. Rick, I just disagree with you on the Andy part. I think he's important here. He's got a role to play here. Armia, though, I mean, yeah. Anthony, I see Slav today auditioning for a top 6 role. I see him starting here on third line, and potentially could go to Laval because he's obviously got waiver exemption. But I don't know necessarily that he's going to Laval. I think he's playing better. He's looking better out there. Let's see what he does today. If he looks really good with Doc and Harvey Pinard, you got to figure this kid's going to stay this year. So Hey, babe, I enjoy the Rockets game. That's pretty cool. And Control Life, you were born in 67, so you're 4 years younger than me. So, you would relate to that. It's a children's book, but it doesn't mean adults won't enjoy it. It's not written down to kids. It won't be like that. But it's going to be a kid's book. All right, that's it. I'm taking off. Thanks, everybody who've been here and are here right now. Before you leave, please give a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think of doing that. I'd appreciate that. I'll be back at 7. Hopefully you guys will show up for that too. But if not, I'll see you next week at Saturday, same time, same bad channel. And there you go. Thanks for being here. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. Go Habs, go. Keep your sticks on the ice. And ciao, everybody. Have a good afternoon.